Hello, so this is 10 misconceptions about chickens. So misconception number 1, chickens are stupid and dumb. Now this is probably perpetuated by sayings such as, oh, this person's a bird brain, to describe someone that's not particularly smart, and this is completely untrue for chickens. Chickens are actually incredibly smart animals, incredibly clever. They actually do show signs of being self-aware, and they can count. I will repeat that. They can count, and they can recognise up to 100 different members of their flock. So they have facial recognition for 100 different chickens, and they can actually also recognise human faces as well. They are incredibly smart, and it is such a disservice to chickens to call them dumb because they are such intelligent birds. So number 2, chickens are cowardly. Now this comes from sayings such as, oh, your chicken.
Where you going? You chicken?
To describe someone that's, scared or frightened or wants to run away or doesn't want to do something, questioning someone's bravery basically. And this couldn't be the further from the truth of chickens. Chickens can be extremely feisty, and if they are protecting their nest, their chicks, or the cockerel is protecting the hens, they can defend their chicks, their nest and their hens with huge amounts of ferocity and tenacity. They are incredibly brave. I used to have a cockerel who was a bantam cockerel, so he wasn't very big at all, and he was insane. He reminded me of the character Scrappy-Doo from Scooby-Doo, because he would literally charge anything, and he would literally hang off your leg because he was protecting what he thought were his hens. And he'd also try and protect his hens from other cockerels, even if the cockerels were 4 times the size of him, and he couldn't really get to them because they were in separate runs. But yeah, he would literally go for anything. So to describe him as not being brave and not being cowardice is just quite the opposite. They can be really, really feisty when they want to be. 3, all chickens are females. That's a bit of a weird one, but it is generally a misconception that some people do have. And I think the reason for this one is because of the poultry and egg laying industry, whereby males are not seen as very commercially viable because they don't lay eggs, and you can't really keep a lot of males in a small space because males do tend to fight each other. So from a very, very early age, some parts of the industry do actually employ people to sex their chicks from a very young age, and they actually dispose of the males straight away. Now what they use those males for, I don't know, maybe for the pet industry, possibly for animal food, snake food maybe, I don't know what they use them for, but they do actually dispose of the male chicks very, very early on a lot of the time, which is why it's kind of been ingrained in us. So we're used to seeing more female chickens than male chickens. So I think this is where this misconception comes from. But no, we do in fact have female and male chickens. Number 4, chickens can lay eggs all year round. And again, I think this is another misconception kind of brought on by the egg laying industry, because within that industry, commercial birds have been selectively bred to produce large amounts of eggs, and with normal chickens you wouldn't normally get that. So for example, my Brahmas that are not commercial hens, they will only lay seasonally, so they will lay in spring and go right through to the end of summer laying, and they will stop over winter. They won't lay any eggs. So this winter I haven't had any eggs from my chickens or my ducks. So yeah, They don't lay all year round. Number 6, only male chickens can crow. Now this is not true. In some circumstances, although it's quite unusual, female chickens can crow as well. And I might touch on this on another section of this video, but yeah, it's far less common, but female chickens sometimes can crow. 7, cockerels or roosters are always aggressive and mean. Completely untrue. I have some really docile and lovely cockerels. However, I would say that like a lot of birds, my chickens tend to prefer one person over another. So for example, my lemon pile Brahma cockerel, Griffin, he really does not like me. He will go for me, but he loves my husband. Whereas my dark Brahma cockerel, he goes for my husband like a maniac. He absolutely detests my husband, but he's lovely to me. So it can depend on who you are, but I also have some cockerels that are fine with both of us, and I also have some cockerels that are quite feisty. So it really does depend on the individual personality of the cockerel and whether they take a liking to you or not, I guess. So number 8, chickens are all the same. Now this is not true at all. Not only do we have lots and lots of different breeds of chickens, so they can look wildly different from each other. Some will be incredibly small, some will be larger, some will have fluffy feathers, some will have other types of feathers. And not only that, but within their actual personalities, every single chicken has a different personality, and none of them are the same as each other. They're not all the same. Number 9, chickens can change sex. Now this one is sort of true. Chickens can do a thing called sex reversal, and it normally only happens with females to males rather than males to females. It's not particularly common at all. It's quite rare, but it tends to happen with females turning into males rather than the other way around. And you can have a chicken that is laying eggs and behaving like a female, and then one day she might stop laying eggs, and a couple of weeks later she might start behaving a little bit like a male, so she'll have more male behaviour. She may start to crow, she may develop a comb, and she may even start to develop male feathers, so she may actually turn and look exactly like a cockerel. And it's quite weird, really. And it only happens very rarely, and again, most of the time it's between girls turning into boys rather than boys turning into girls, but it can happen from time to time. 10, chickens are vegetarians. Now this isn't true at all. They're actually omnivores, so they eat a wide range of things. They eat vegetation, and they can eat insects and worms, and they can also go even as far as catching mice. I've had chickens of mine catch voles before and have running around with voles in their mouths. They can catch frogs. They will basically eat anything that's of a size that they can eat. They will have a go and try and eat it. So they're not just strictly vegetation and grains. They can eat lots of different things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.